runs a company called Visor IQ. He'll tell us a bit about it, and then he'll go on to answer his question. So the question that he has, I think he's speaking on behalf of the youth. What challenges are the youth facing in digital platforms? I think we've heard of the government side, the advocacy side. Now I'd like to hear from the youth perspective. What challenges are we facing, and how can we overcome them? So
thank you very much. Thank you for the opportunity. And the other panelist is out. Thank you. I've actually learned a lot just sitting here and actually seeing from the perspective of the elderly and the people that have actually already gone forth. It's really outstanding that the same problems that we may have are the same problems that they see. But then there's an axis of thinking that they have that we, the youth, don't actually have. But then we can narrate our own problems in a different way. So the first, I'm going to speak about three things. I'm going to speak about accessibility as a problem. I'm going to speak about utilizing digital platforms as a problem and how we can actually solve it in a perspective way, that is. So accessibility, when we talk about accessibility, I think to the youth, the hugest problem that we have is how to get connected. We have gone, some people who are actually connected or who have the access to information have gone to fellowships like these, or maybe conferences, or maybe meetups that will talk about, networking is important, but then the accessibility to actually establish a network is actually hard because there aren't a lot of people who are actually doing that in Malawi. And the accessibility point alone, the accessibility to think in a different way as a youthful person or as a youth in Malawi, it's so diminished to the point whereby when we build something, we're just building for us. But then when we talk about China, USA, these are people who are told that when they build for the world. Mark Zuckerberg built Facebook for the college, but then with the mindset of reaching Malawi. But then when we build an app or a website, we're just thinking about the person who wants to access us, or, I can do if I have a website, I should give them, or something that we should just put on our business card. Now, as we say, websites are just stagnant pieces or pages on the internet that provide information but don't have activity on them, per se. And the other access problem that we youth have is internet. I shouldn't laugh. I can't run away. It's internet. In 2016, we were the whole Malawi, out of 18 plus million people, only 9.1% of the whole Malawi was connected to the internet. And as of 2018, that number only grew to 13.1. And right now we are on 13.6. So you can actually see out of 18 million people, and out of 100%, only 13% of us have access. And this access is not coming from the youth, honestly speaking. This is coming from our parents. This is not coming from our peers. This is coming from our parents. Or even the actual way to even access internet, we have slow internet connection problems. We have high data costs, and we have a lot of problems that I can expound on, but I won't take much time because they already have been talked about. But then how can we utilize digital platforms to not seem as if we're just using them for just? It's absolutely amazing that you actually see that in this COVID-19 period, Mark Zuckerberg has already made $31 billion US. And we are complaining about Airtel still being slow or still eating our data. But this is a person who has made $31 billion US. How? By the digital market. So you can see that there's a market that is out there that we're not thinking about or actually utilizing in a way that can actually benefit us. I like how Ntanda said that Twitter is there for fighting, but then at the same time, Twitter is also there to get your business. many people know that?
All of social media, really.
Exactly. Somebody say, oh, Twitter is where you go show your intellect to catch fish, and Instagram is where to show how you catch the fish so that maybe somebody can actually see, oh wait, this is a process that I would like to join in. But then how do you see yourself, and what story are you trying to portray on a digital media platform where you can actually utilize it to the maximum potential? That is the utilization of digital media. The problem is we don't know what we want to do, and at the end of the day, we just do what we feel like doing. But from today, who do you think of yourself as? Because whether we like it or not, this is something that I've been actually talking about most recently. Whether we like it or not, whatever we put on digital media, Twitter or Instagram or Facebook, will haunt you for the rest of your life. We have seen it in the US that any person that points out any racist joke or anything ends up being cancelled.
Even if it was 4 or 5 years ago.
Exactly. We have the Bianca issue coming from South Africa that happened. She tweeted 2014. Imagine.
She was 15. I think she must have been 15 or 13.
And now it's affecting her. You know. MRA actually does background checks, if you don't know. Just giving an example of an institution. MRA does background checks. And they employ people like us to go into your social media to actually see what you tweet. And then we do a psychoanalysis that this person is not stable. They can actually tweet something personal or private about work. So the utilization of social media is by far something that we're not comprehending, to the extent that we are losing out on money because of the image. And then we see bios saying that, oh no, I am not my tweets, or tweets are not endorsements. If you retweeted that, you have endorsed it.
Exactly.
Simple. But then now, how can we solve these problems? I'll start with a quote from the late Henry Ford saying, whether you say you can or you can't, you are absolutely right. So your access of thinking has to change from now. The perception of how you see yourself, or how you see the business that you want to run, or how you see yourself in the future has to change now. Because your perception is directly linked to what people see you as. What you portray, the stories that you share, is directly linked to what people see you as. So who do you want to be? The person the people can't work with because, oh wait, he said a bad joke sometime that I didn't like, or maybe he liked a post that was actually, against me. Because people have agendas on social media. And it's just a shame that most of us are actually supporting them without even acknowledging it to our own self. But then we need a perception and an access of thinking that has to change within us, because the moment it changes within us, then we can start now talking about, okay, how can I go forth? Because you cannot go forth when you're self-sabotaging yourself on social media. So the accessibility will always be there. We don't want people who always yap about the problems. We want now the problem solvers. The problems will always be there, but then now the access of thinking, now you have to either read books if you don't have an internet connection, go to the next or nearest library. I'm sure we still have those. Yes, I'm sure we still have those, because a book can greatly change your perception. And perception is the only tool that you have to win now. It used to be go to school, get a job. Learn, get a job, execute, retire. Now you have to learn and unlearn and relearn again. Learn, unlearn, and relearn again. And you cannot do that if you do not have the mindset or the perception or the capacity to actually tell yourself that I need to keep up with the times. The world is moving fast. So what I can actually tell you is, whenever you're changing your perception, build locally, but think globally. Because there's another person out there building the next Facebook, and you be the one paying for it.
And we just have TikTok right now, and everybody's on it.
I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, a little...
And that's Chinese.
Yes. And a little inspiration maybe. Instagram was sold at $2 billion US, if you don't know. And it's just a digital platform. Facebook is valued over $60 billion. Facebook alone, without Instagram. So you can see that there is money in the digital platform. It's trillions and trillions of dollars of a market. And we are just treating about, oh wait, I just woke up and I feel sad. No. If you want money, that's what we should look at. Because whether you're not good at social media, the person who will handle you will pick up from where you started. Thank you.
Well, that was amazing. Thank you so much to our panelists for making the time to be here. We've learned so much from you. I'm just going to highlight some things that I picked up, which I think you guys should hold on to. The first thing coming from Dr. Shao, I said it before. Do your research, background checks, have the facts. Be creative about how you're telling the story. There's so much information on digital. Why should somebody read what you have? I think, in the past few weeks, there's been Twitter Malawi where people are always complaining about people don't follow back, and stuff like that. People follow people because they have engaging content. So basically, what are you saying? I mean, if every day I come to your Twitter and everything I'm saying is, I've woken up, I'm taking a walk or whatever. It's boring stuff. So how are you getting creative about how you're telling your stories? And then from there now, intentional use of digital. He just said there's trillions in digital, and that's exactly what this conference is about. It's about the use of digital media. I'm not saying don't use digital media for your personal lives. You can share whatever I share about what I'm eating and when I'm having fun, but also be very intentional about how you're appearing there, because I didn't know about the background checks. I work for MRI. I didn't know a background check was done for me, but clearly I made it through. So exactly, how are you portraying yourself on social media? When people are coming back to your page, what are they finding? Are they finding good things you're saying about yourself? You have pinned tweets. This is just me digressing, but the first 6 posts on your page should have something about your business. Every 6 posts on your page must have something about your business. When I come to your page, I'm not scrolling all the way down. So within that 6, you must have your fun and whatever, but within that, every 6 things you post on social media, you must have some business, and I believe you guys are business minds. So that's just me closing. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you learned something. We're just going to branch off now and take some pictures. Oh yes. If you have some questions, we can take like 3 to 5 questions, then we take some pictures, and then we branch off into the snacks, because I think you're as hungry as I am. Any questions?